Hi friends, this is Haruka from Planet Education. Today for my college knowledge with Haruka, I wanted to talk about college majors. In particular, I wanted to share some of the best resources on the University of California website, which I tell all my students, it's deep and wide like the ocean. So sometimes it's really difficult to navigate. So three things I want to tell you today are: first, the UC campus majors list; second, tell you some tips; and then third, a place where you can find out what you can do with your major. So let's get started. The first thing is to take a look at all of the majors there are in the University of California. So the University of California has 9 campuses, right? There's UCLA, Berkeley, San Diego, Irvine, Davis, Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, Riverside, and Merced. That's 9 campuses. And there are literally hundreds of majors. And what's the best way to find out what they are? Well, actually do a Google search. Google search UC campus majors, and you'll get this. It is about it's a 14-page list of all of the majors by discipline category. What's a discipline category? Well, there are, first, agriculture, natural resources, and environmental studies. These are the basic categories. Okay, I'm going to list off 10 of them. Architectural and environmental design and planning. Art, including applied, fine, performing arts, and art history. Fourth is biological and life sciences. Third is business and management. Next is communication. Next is engineering and computer science. Next is ethnic and area studies. And then there's food, nutrition, and consumer sciences. There's foreign languages and literature. There's health professions. There's humanities, mathematics, physical sciences, social sciences, and special programs. So if you are interested in, first thing you want to know is which one of these major, what they call discipline categories, you're most interested in. And I would encourage you to print this out, really, if you can, whether you are, your first choice is to get into the UC system or elsewhere, because the breadth and depth of majors is astounding. Let me give you some examples. Now I'm going to go into some of the tips, because once you print this out, you'll be like, wow, it's so amazing. So first, pay attention to whether they're schools or colleges, because the bigger they are, the more resources a school will allocate. So for example, you may think that all the schools have a college of engineering, but in some cases there might just be a school of engineering, or maybe a department of engineering, or a program of engineering. Sometimes when not in the case of the UCs, but in some schools, some universities, when they're just developing a program, it just indicates how much, how big the program is. But in the case of the UCs, you'll see that depending on the subject, there's a lot of, there may be things like a whole college of chemistry at UC Berkeley. There's a whole, if you're interested in environmental science, take a look at UC Davis, because they have a whole college of agriculture and environmental science. If you're interested in something like theater, there's a whole college of theater, film, and television at UCLA. And if you're interested in business, then look at Berkeley, Irvine, and actually Riverside. Riverside has the biggest business program in the UC system, and it's actually not impossible to get into, as opposed to Berkeley and UC Irvine, which have really small, very super selective programs. One question I often get is changing majors. Is it easy to change majors? And the question is, the answer is, it depends. So it is easier to change from a selective major to a less selective major. So if you are if you're in biochem and you want to go into biology, it's easier, but vice versa is difficult. Same goes for, it's easier to transfer from computer science into an engineering, but if you want to go into engineering to computer science, it's very difficult. Engineering to math is easier than going from math to engineering. Psychology into Asian studies is easier than vice versa. So, keep that in mind. It's also easier to change majors within, say, within a college or within a university. If it's similar, it's a lot easier, right? So if you're in the College of Engineering, and you want to switch from one major to another, let's say from mechanical to civil or something like that, that's easier than switching from math, which might be in arts and sciences, into the engineering school, right? Because you have to take all of the required prerequisites and things like that. It just makes it more difficult. Not only will it be difficult to get approved for a major, which usually takes place not at the point of application. Students have to decide what they want to major for the most part when they apply, but that's not etched in stone. You have to declare your major at the end of sophomore year for the most part. There are always exceptions to the rules, but for the most part, you have to declare that by the end of sophomore year. People will say that it's, will wonder how much does a major matter, and it is true that these days people change their majors quite a bit, maybe upwards of 50% of students change their majors. So it is okay to change your major, but be aware that there is a price. That is, if you may not graduate on time. The university doesn't care whether it takes you 5 years or 6 years, but whoever's paying your tuition will, right? So whether you're at a UC and the total cost of attendance for 1 year may be $35,000, ouch, a 5th year is going to hurt, right? Or a 6th year, that's going to hurt the wallet. So it is to your advantage to take a look at this list of campus majors. So again, Google this, the UC campus majors. And sometimes you have to say, for UC, you have to put down California campus majors to get this great list. It's about 14 pages. Finally, another great website in the UC system is from UC Davis. They have a great blog that says what you can do with your major, and you can explore, like, what do you do after you get a major in, say, biology or English, right? So a lot of people are concerned about that. So this is written by students who are in the major, out in the field after they graduate. It's a great resource. I love it. And I've looked at the UC. I have really spent a lot of time on the UC website, and these are some of my favorite resources to share with my students. If these tips are helpful, I hope you will join me for some more college knowledge webinars. I actually have 2 courses. One, where's my flyer? I just printed it out for this meeting, and yet this Facebook Live, and now I don't see it. So I have 2 flyers, one for college knowledge webinars that is focused on financial literacy, and the other one on college research. There's actually a 1-hour program just on details about selecting college majors. And today's Facebook Live was just the tip of the iceberg. So if that interests you, you can purchase a course. I will leave the link below, and I hope to see you there. Okay? Take a look at my other Facebook Lives as well. And if it's helpful, or if you have any questions, leave me a question and I will answer them. All right. Have a great day. Bye.